Good afternoon, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Well, this is the controlling influence on the weather really this week going into this coming weekend. And it's an upper level low. It's got a surface low that's wrapping south of Hudson Bay currently. And a lot of disturbances that will be swinging around this upper low as it basically tracks east and then a little bit southeast. Eventually, this is going to be affecting us over this coming weekend, but temperatures incrementally get colder over time. So the biggest concerns for utilities really is going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. It's a gusty thunderstorm risk that'll develop later in the day tomorrow, Tuesday, primarily across western Vermont, and again on Wednesday through the afternoon and probably into the evening a little bit more widespread. Thursday may be completely dry. It's our best project weather day coming, although it's got some caveats, some showers across the northern tier areas potentially, just isolated however. But overall, kind of a busy weather pattern with a lot of these quick-moving disturbances working through, but relatively benign, other than those 2 days with thunderstorms, Tuesday and Wednesday. In terms of temperature, we're going to get this kind of colder air that's along the back side of the system, so progressively we actually get incrementally a little bit colder and colder as we head toward the mid and late part of this coming week. Well, currently right now we have this band of rain showers. This was some thunderstorm activity, fairly impressive stuff that was well off to the southwest over toward the Ohio Valley and points south and west into Oklahoma, Missouri. This is scooted in and it's going to move through and probably start to diminish along about a little bit before sunset. And you notice there are some breaks on the clouds, and this is going to be working in just toward the very end of Memorial Day. I don't think anybody's going to make much use out of it at that point because we're looking at some wet weather, about a quarter to about a half-inch of rainfall overall. We also have some southeasterly winds that are gusting up to about 35 miles per hour. No utility concerns with this southeasterly wind that's blowing today, however. So this is our precipitation that's currently working through the region. You notice it's a little heftier, a little heavier across northern sections of the state of Vermont rather than southeastern or southern Vermont. But it moves on out. This is by between roughly 8 o'clock and about 2 o'clock in the morning, so very little precipitation overnight. Now, this is our next batch. This is mostly an instability kind of deal here that's moved out of the upper Midwest, and what's going to end up happening is it's going to produce some shower and thunderstorm activity, especially fairly late in the day, and some of that's going to be lasting into the evening hours, arriving into Vermont. Susceptible is going to be the Champlain Valley. Capes are a little higher there, but it really doesn't look like it's going to be a big deal here, but there could be some strong to locally severe thunderstorms that push out of New York. I think New York's going to be very robust during the day tomorrow, as we have a lot of instability and they have some partial sunshine to deal with, whereas we're going to see a lot of cloud cover. Now, similar situation is going to happen on Wednesday. This one's centered pretty much throughout the region, but you might notice it's kind of scattered or hit and miss. This is Wednesday morning, a little bit of partial sunshine. That'll help heat things up. And then that cold pool aloft kind of works through the region, some instability. And then it looks like a much better day finally. Wednesday night looks like not a problem, but note just a little bit of shower activity. And that is for Thursday as being the best day coming. And then beyond that, a couple weird disturbances kind of streak through. Again, we're still dealing with this upper level low. Now notice where it's at. It's moved very little in this entire time here. So it's going to be the main influence on our weather. But this is how Friday ends up. And then along about Saturday, there's some suggestion, the GFS is indicating that there could be some instability with the potential for thunderstorms here, although it's kind of a shot in the dark, and I just left it out for Saturday. So this is the GFS ensemble, and you can see the shower threat just about every day, and a little bit less here. This is Thursday's weather, and then we're back into a little bit more of this mischief. Notice it doesn't really show a tremendous amount of rainfall. We're talking about accumulations here later in the week, about 1 inch. Let's take a look at the Weather Prediction Center's ideas. So they keep the heftier 2-inch amounts just to the west of us. And this is about 1 inch here, so that's about 1.5 inches. So once again, western Vermont under the gun with the series of thunderstorms working on through. What about temperature? Let's take a look at the big picture. Running below normal, about 3 to 6 degrees, and not a lot of change. This is 3 to 7 days, 3 days later. So not looking at a major warm-up here. A little bit of a warm-up starts to take place. Again, we have this upper-level system that's going to be in this vicinity. Notice this cold pocket. Okay, this is calibrated severe weather, and this is today's business. Nothing really to see. Things fall apart, and then we get into tomorrow. This is valid about 11 o'clock in the morning. You can see the St. Lawrence Valley is going to be up for something to develop. And notice New York here, how it really fills in. And this is calibrated severe weather. Now that gets into western Vermont, so hence later in the afternoon. This is valid about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then roughly 8 o'clock at night it starts to recede back. It's pretty strong up in Quebec and looks like parts of Pennsylvania, and then it falls apart. And then we have another round on Wednesday. So Wednesdays will pop one more time, and you can see it's widespread across Vermont. So Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be our big days. Something to watch. Utilities should monitor for any heads up that I'll be issuing, and we'll be focusing on it. That's going to be the major player, it looks like, this week. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.